Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Imagine seeing him on the town holding another hand. She's staring me down, so I figure he told her who I am. But it don't matter either way what they do or say, 'cause ain't nothing changed. He's standing with her, but his soul is calling name.
In my mind, I'll always be his lady. In my mind, I'll always be his girl. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, ha, ha. That's all I got.
Yeah, no, that's it. Hey, stalking.
Yes, hello everyone and everybody. Welcome to the Blackest Show About Nothing. It's Jaden XD. Yes. Another episode of Curb Your Discontent.
Right. Curb your nanny.
Yeah. How was your week? Jade of all Jades. I don't have a name today. Y'all niggas know who I am and who I be.
Oh yeah.
Our faces are on the cover.
I'm Jade, aka Mercury's in Retro Jade. Shout out to Dustin.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Boogly boo.
Oh.
It me.
Oh. What planets are fuck niggin'? Because that explains what's going on in my house.
Oh, what's going on here?
Nothing. It's just, I think it's very healthy for couples to have a check-in. People think it's corny and think it's like why are you turning a relationship into a business? But I think it's healthy for couples in healthy relationships to have a formal sit down and map some shit out and hash some shit out.
Yeah.
Whether it's, financially, spiritually, whateverly you got going on.
Yeah.
You got going on. But, it's just, energetically, and not just in my house, but just like in family-wise, because that makes a lot more sense of what I told you the other day.
Yes.
Like, so what planets are fuck nicking?
Mercury.
That's it?
Yeah. It's till the very top of January, I believe. I believe like right after the second.
my life was just a lot better before I came
Into the woo?
Yeah, until I came conscious of the woo. You know what I mean?
You're welcome.
And now I'm like, no, it's the worst thing ever.
No.
What's that? What did Baldwin say? The more you know, the more angry you become.
What did Martin Luther King say? Nothing more dangerous
I
than
fuck white women. ...
Yeah, that was the ... part. And willful ignorance. It's nothing more dangerous than fucking white women and willful ignorance. Which, that sounds the same. Oh.
Speaking of willful ignorance.
Oh, wait, no, that was terrible. I shouldn't say
that. No.
No, it's a very specific type of black man where that is a willful ignorance.
And a specific type of white woman.
And a specific type of white woman.
If that's not you, let it fly. And y'all know who
if it don't apply. We starting off on a real chaotic note.
We are. Well, we're about to have a very chaotic episode.
Very much so.
Because last time we chatted, it's my favorite phrase now. Last week we had the great Franiqua on.
Oh, yes, sister.
And every time Fran comes on, it's breathes new life and energy. Like it's just
yes.
Y'all know how Fran is. It's just she's like Andy's mint. She's like biting into a York peppermint patty.
There's few things that I like with chocolate and mint combined, but I don't mind the Andes, and I don't mind a thin mint.
I love a York peppermint patty. I love chocolate in like a. It's the same.
No,
either way,
not. It's got that white shit in it. It's got that thick.
They all got that white
nasty
shit in it.
No, they don't.
Andy's has the white shit. The Thin Mints has jizz in between.
Andy's is a small, teeny chocolate that they put on your pillow with like a thin layer of the little mint.
Jizz. It's all the same.
No, it is not all the same. And then Thin Mints are like a delicious little graham cracker cookie covered in chocolate and mint. But so the Thin Mints are the Girl Scouts.
Essence.
But Andy's do not have that same nasty shit that York peppermint patties have.
Okay.
Have you ever had a Klondike bar?
I have. I
haven't. Am I missing anything? What is it? What would you do?
It is a boîte of ice cream covered in chocolate ganache and frozen. And so you're eating
so it's an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, but there's no like baked good involved. It's crackled like tempered chocolate poured over a cube of
a block of ice cream. Oh, okay, that's not so bad.
And they have different flavors. Sometimes it's there's mint chocolate chip. There's I think they have like a strawberry one, which is gross because chocolate and strawberries are just not for me. And I also don't believe in strawberry ice cream.
What?
We've had this discussion. I don't believe in strawberry ice cream.
That was my favorite ice cream as a child.
Because it falls in line how I feel about like specific fruits. Yes. And
you think it's a pussy ass ice cream?
It is, because when you get Neapolitan, right, which fuck the 80s for Neapolitan ice cream. Actually, the 60s. But fuck Neapolitan ice cream. But no, it's vanilla
Definitely the 80s. For sure, as well.
It's vanilla or die. You know what I mean? Because I also don't fuck with chocolate ice cream. You have to be very specific.
Chocolate ice cream is a specific situation for me. But is strawberry, the strawberry is good. If it's a good one. And don't let it be one with little strawberries mixed in.
I've had a fabulous strawberry gelato situation at that place. What's it called? It's on 4th Avenue in Brooklyn, I guess. It's right across from the UFC gym in Brooklyn.
Gelato's gay ice cream.
It's in Gowanus. I want to say that's where it is, but they had
It's fancy.
I'm ignoring that.
No, because it's fancy and it's better than everybody else. And
shows how much you know, Jade. Gays can't eat ice cream.
I didn't say it's for the gays. I said it's the gay ice cream. What a fucking asshole.
I love like, trolling straight
gays have fun so too, fun. Jade.
I can't wait until we sell out for real and get Slaves Had Fun Too merch.
Oh, when I tell you, when we get to that level of fuck it, which is like, it's coming.
Can I tell you something I did against my will? Well, not against my will, but I purposely did it because I need to see what's goings on with the goings on.
Okay.
I watched an episode of the Joe Budden podcast.
Tell me what you want from hip hop.
I don't know. I mean...
You don't think that's a question you should answer at some point?
What do I want from hip hop?
Or are you leaving all of this to QC to figure out?
Nah, I mean, I'm just...
What the fuck did you... Why did you do that?
It's because of Cameron. So I needed to see why
I have an unhealthy attachment to Cameron Giles.
Me too, and I need to let it go. Yeah. And because Cameron Giles was my first like hood nigga crush. Like you know what I mean? He
wasn't my first, but he was like. Yeah. It's his charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. It's just.
It is. It's just. And I was introduced to him first as an actor, and either way, fine. And that nigga funny. So, anywho, I had to find out and dig deep what all this brouhaha was about with Melissa Ford, and because Cameron was starting to sue Joe Budden or whatever, blah blah blah. A lot of shit going on. A lot of men being gross. To women, because that's usually, and Cameron's like, I never did this, I'm suing for defamation, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I happened to watch an episode of this Joe Budden, of this Joe Budden thing. I have to say, the one compliment that I can give them, he has a fabulous set.
Oh, okay, that's easy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go in a tirade about what I felt about watching it. I also feel that Joe Budden is like one of those like heteros, cover your ears. Gays. He feels like the type that, if you go to like, he looks like the type to invite you to a spades party. If you know, you know. Anywho, back to everybody else. I shouldn't know that. Everybody come up with the ears down.
I shouldn't get your references, and yet.
God, I know I've exposed the business too much.
What does that say about me?
You can run your own house now.
No, truly, I could have been run. I did in a past life, but we all know I'm a house mother. Let's just all be clear here.
You can, but get in here and learn something. It's you.
Did you eat before you go to the ball? I won't be coming, but I will make sure you're fed.
Make sure that tighten up that skirt.
Yeah.
Pin it. Like. I cannot stand, and this is my due diligence as like a homosexual community, because next week I talk about gay bashing, but this week,
next week I tell the story about a bitch named Brenda. She's 10.
Yes. But God, I wish that episode comes out.
Oh my God, me too! I was like, can we release 2 in a week?
Anywho,
I can't wait for you all to hear about Brenda.
Yeah, but we gotta start talking about some other crazy folk.
Yeah.
But as I was talking, Fran inspired us to keep on going with the cult movement. And if you're not in the Discord, where all the church of chaos lives, our cult.
Yeah.
I announced that. Yeah, cock. I announced that we are ending the year with cult shit outside of the next episode, but which is worse than this. But
yes.
This week we are covering Escaping Twin Flame.
He took my child. He twisted her memories, her mind.
Haven't seen her in over 3 years.
Most of this great wealth comes directly from teaching others how to have.
Last week I was bugged and weirded out, like, oh, these white people are crazy.
I love it.
This week I was angry.
So, yes, we'll discuss that because there's many reasons to be angry about this. Like,
it was one big Tyra show episode.
It was. But also, you know what? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Yeah, we have we're going to be talking about Escaping Twin Flames mixed with a little bit of let's see, Twin Flame, desperately seeking soulmate, escaping the Twin Flame universe.
I met my twin flame, and it turned my entire world upside down.
We all understand this feeling of loneliness. We don't know where we belong, and we don't know how to rectify that. I met someone.
Right. Let's pay some bills first.
Yeah.
Thank you again for telling a friend each and every week about us. Keep spreading the chaos. Keep spreading the chaos. Tell them about the cult that you have joined, the Church of Jaden XD.
It's the healthiest cult you could ever join.
I was talking to my homegirl. Me and my homegirl Jiminica were talking about like how so easy it is to form a cult. And she was like, I'm gonna start one, but I'm gonna have niggas start relaxing and eating green vegetables and shit and meditating.
Hold on. That is on the next cult episode of Jaden XD. We will be creating our own cults. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. But yes, listen to us on the main stage each and every week. Reminder that we're going on a little holiday break, but we have a whole bunch of content coming, maybe not on the main stage. However, on Patreon, $9.99 will carry you through this entire holiday season.
Shall
we have Hills, Covering the Hills, 90 Day Fiance, Love After Lockup, because we never will let that die because they refuse to let it die, and a whole bunch of other shit. And I am so excited for our new edition. We're watching Anne of Green Gables. Quality PBS programming, which everybody should support. Please support your local PBS.
Absolutely.
Even if it's $20, or you could do what I did and pay $60 for the whole year.
I love that for us.
Yeah, because the children need a place to learn. Not everybody could go on HBO and watch Sesame Street, which I find it really weird that you got to go on HBO to watch an episode of Sesame Street, but that's just me.
It's sacrilegious, and if you all can buy 3 outfits off of Temu, you can buy a year of PBS. Do I want enchiladas or fajitas?
Yes.
I know.
I don't know where you're ordering from, so I can't give you like the best like, well, do they have this?
You know what? I'm going to go with a yes. Continue.
Yes. Patreon $9.99. Join on the fun.
Not you, bitch.
You too, nigga. And if you can't, Jaden XD is great stocking stuffer. Get your home girl, home boy, home they a subscription to us. It's
$120 for the year.
Yeah, we're like bras. We provide support and uplift the community.
And we dig into your shoulders.
Yes.
Get on your nerves by the end of the day.
That's who we are as a people. But if you can't do that, hold us down for free on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, interact on social. YouTube.com/JadenXD. More shit is coming. Yeah. Click on the description box and click on the link tree and you can find everything that we got going on. Yes. With that being said, let's take a break and be back talking about lonely white women.
Hit it, Claude.
Confused black. Yeah. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Did you know that learning a new language affects areas of the brain unrelated to language processing, such as like visual spatial span? With Babbel, you're not only acquiring a new language, but you're also expanding your cognitive universe. Doesn't that sound very important? This winter, start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks with Babbel. Now, why Babbel? Because it works. Instead of paying hundreds of dollars for a private tutor or fooling yourself with language apps that ain't nothing but a game, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are designed by over 150 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. So Babbel is conversation-based learning built with science-backed cognitive tools like spaced repetition and interactive lessons created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers, all very important things. So it's designed by real people for real conversations. And all of Babbel's tips and tools for learning a new language are approachable, they're accessible, and they're rooted in real-life situations. So they're delivered with conversation-based teaching. It's teaching you how to talk to people. It's been such a useful tool for me because it's made it much easier to ask for directions on vacation or speak to merchants and whatnot without worrying about Wi-Fi and language apps. And it hit close to home because it's easier to communicate with my grandparents and talk mess about my cousins. Studies from Yale, Michigan State University, and others continue to prove Babbel is better. For instance, one study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester of college. Hello, that's your money's worth. Here's a special, a limited time deal for our listeners to get you started right now. Get 55% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners. That's at babbel.com/JXD. Get 55% off at babbel.com/JXD. That's BABBEL.com/JXD. Rules and restrictions may apply.
So we're back and we're talking. It's a 3-episode doc. I don't know what the other doc is. I think it's on Amazon.
Also 3 episodes.
3 episodes. Okay, so we're gonna try to blend the two.
Yes.
Jade watched both of them. I've only seen the Flicks one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go down this journey together.
I'm discovering.
So it opens with this white man named Jeff showing off his Porsche and pronouncing it incorrectly.
Oh, Porsche.
And so, yeah, everybody says Porsche. It's not Porsche, friends.
I don't know what it is.
It's Porsche.
Porsche. Is it French? Yeah. What is it? Or is it like Russian? Porsche. Like, what is it? Where is it from?
Oh, I say they're Italian, but it's not Porsche.
Oh, that would make sense. And then it could be a Porsche. So it's just it's like their natural echo.
Yeah. Well, he comes on the screen and he's flickering with his Porsche Cayenne, and he's like, I don't y'all brokies got real jobs. I make money teaching people how to have healthy relationships. And we cut to Phoenix, Arizona.
Yep.
To this white woman. There's a lot of white woman antics throughout this, so trigger warning, right? And so we have Paula Hardy we meet first. And Paula is on the phone with police like most white women are. And she called the cops on her twin sister. She was like, hey bitches, my sister's in a cult. What are you going to do about it? And so the police was like, okay, is she a danger to herself? Is it free will? Is she brainwashed? And Paula was like, I don't fucking know, but it's a cult. Why would people join that willingly?
And she won't talk to us.
And then we learn, this woman comes on named Louise.
Mm-hmm.
She comes on and she begins to open the story of where we are and how we got to where we are. Because this documentary is centered around this one girl, essentially named Stephanie.
Okay, so I'm going to pause you there and hop over here real quick because we can compare and contrast. Okay. So, Desperately Seeking Soulmate, Escaping the Twin Flame Universe is from the vantage point of a journalist by the name of Alice Hines, who wrote an article on them for Vanity Fair on Jeff and Shalia, who we will talk about in a moment. But she wrote an article on them, and she had a firsthand visiting experience with them. So we see Alice go to their home, sit down and talk with them, taking pictures, so forth and so on. Also, we meet Arcelia, who is in both documentaries. Arcelia is a woman of the trans experience. And she speaks in both documentaries extensively about not only her experience, but the psychology behind everything. We also meet a mother of a current member. Well, I don't know. They should have actually reframed that.
I'm very confused. What I was very confused about, just like I was with Mother God, who's in and who's not. Because they all talk as if they're not. But I do know the way they intimated is that some of these niggas are still in. Especially even like their titling, like Mama Who Says She Escaped, but it was like also she was the director of communications for MAP. And I was like, why would that still be your title? Is that your current? Why wouldn't it be X? I was a little confused by it all.
Brianna, in this particular documentary, Brianna's mom is the one who they are interviewing. It's Brianna's mom and two of Brianna's aunts. They don't interview Brianna, but they do list her as a current member. However, we find out at the very end of it that Brianna has since called her mother, asked to go home, and is back home. But when she came back home, she was not well. But you go back and then I'll start filling in. Oh, also, Megyn Kelly claimed that Machine Gun, or Megan, what's her face? Fox.
Megyn Kelly.
Claimed Machine Gun Kelly was her soulmate. And Ryan Gosling, once upon a time, had to sue a stalker for calling them his twin flame as well.
Yeah. Everything is like very Fatal Attraction. Yeah. Like everything is Sharon Stone coded. But let's go on this journey. So it starts in 2018. Paula and Stephanie are twin sisters, and Stephanie gets on the internet and she starts getting into some spiritual shit, God or whatever. And all of a sudden, she just disappeared. And they realized through research or whatever that she had joined what she found on the internet called the Twin Flame Ascension School. Now, the first thing I saw I was like, all cults operate the same.
Oh, yeah. No, it's very much so.
The same
it's a formula.
Story.
Yeah.
I'm like, Going Clear in my head is the staple of cult docs because we know what COS has done and continues to do, and it's fascinating and incredible how illegal they get away with shit, but whatever. But it all works out. And I'm also was fascinated how they bring up NXIVM, and we'll get that to episode 3. So, we also meet this white couple or this white lady who's hiding out in a trailer named Keely. And so Keely is like pointing at like this little a lot of this is on like documented, right? Just like Mother God. So a lot of this they could just access shit, right? And you see everything that they recorded and whatever. So they've used Colby and Keely like in their promotional video for selling shit.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she tells the story of their love initially. She's like, you know, me and Colby met at a grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, he was cute to me. I was cute to him. I'm pansexual. He's not, but he was down with the get down.
Oh, yeah.
So everything was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Until it wasn't. He was like, you know, Keels, I'm not really fucking with this committed relationship right now.
Yeah, this ain't for the kid.
Right. I want to be free. It's not a you thing. It's a me thing.
Yes.
So I'm going to go fly away and
far
go to
away
Taiwan.
from here. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So she thought she was devastated.
Mm-hmm.
She thought Colby was her cinnamon apple.
Yeah.
Like they was in it. Like they thought they had white hood love and it just wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
So she turned to she went online like most lonely people do, and she found these twin flame people.
Yes.
And, you know, they were talking about finding the perfect lover, the only one. And she thoroughly felt like this nigga was her one and only.
Mm-hmm.
So she drank the Kool-Aid. And so they told her, you know, this would be great for you. These tools are great for you to find and solidify your twin flame, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, can you see now? Oh, baby, you my twin flame, you not no hoe. Spiritual journey with potholes in the road. We both woke, give me your throat while I call. Ask if I'm fine.
So then we meet a black girl named Shanice. She is very important to this story. All my note for her is, Lordy, they got the black girl, Shanice. We'll learn more about her later.
Oh, because we met a black girl in the Amazon documentary, and her name was Lorraine. And she is a self-identified, and I quote, Black African female, former member, and found... Hello? Hold on. Oh, shit. What the fuck is that? Ah!
It came? Yay! You can unbox!
I get to
Total
unbox.
unboxing!
Okay.
Pause, everybody.
Pause, a bitch named Lorraine. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, this is exciting.
I got a package from XD. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. You taped all this shit up? Goddamn.
No.
Oh. UPS did that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, UPS.
That was, because I just used my my box from Sniff. Fabulous candle company, by the way. Sniff, if you would like to advertise with us, please let us know. Sniff is fabulous. I love them. I love their scents. I love their candles. Wonderful.
We love candles. Okay. God, I hate opening boxes. Strenuous. It's hard. Okay, hold on.
Why don't you just take the blade and use it like that?
I did. But like it still won't. God damn.
That much.
Is it me?
Yeah, because it's only like 2 strands. I watched him do it.
Ooh, croissants.
Oh yeah, because the candle I got was crumb couture.
Ooh, is it yummy?
Mm-hmm. That's the one I couldn't decide if I liked it or not. And I was like, oh, this is fabulous.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Da 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 da. All right. I got me some. Oh, I got hybrid grapefruit Z disposable vape.
I like it's from Dime Bag, you know.
Ooh, sour guava, little smokies Edibles. Okay. Whoa. Ooh. Peaceful pineapple gummies with live resin.
Always remember, kids, people talk about edibles don't do anything for me. That's because you need to get live resin. Live resin goes straight to the bloodstream.
Ooh. Blackberry lemon edibles.
Those are dangerous. Not because they're strong. They are strong, but because they're delicious. So
how many are... Oh, it's only 10. I was like, ooh, I want one now.
Take one now. Shit. I mean, I know you got to wait, for your trip, but still.
I know. All of this is for my cruise, by the way, because they don't let you smoke on a boat. So I was like, nigga, help.
Yeah.
Not me thinking you sent me a card.
Do y'all have MedMen and
No, but we have, I don't think we have MedMen, but we have Canna, it's one of the official ones.
Because MedMen for flour and other stuff, I would not, because they're overpriced. But edibles and stuff, they're good. And I should have got you weed pills.
Curaleaf. Curaleaf is what we have.
Yeah, I should have got you weed pills, because that would have, you could put them in like a vitamin thing.
Oh. I also got Kush Mints, live resin cannabis oil, disposable. Rechargeable or disposable vape.
Mm-hmm. Cam is a good brand. They're medicinal.
Oh. How long do these things generally last?
Those 3 will get you through the week.
Okay. And then a Dime Industry signature line wedding cake disposable pin.
Live resin as well. So that's super important.
My nigga, you took care of the girl. Okay. I'm about to try one of these blackberry lemons because I just want to see what it tastes like. Let's see. Ooh.
Yeah, she's delicious. She's tasty. And it's not that overwhelming weed taste either, because I know it's hard to avoid that weed taste, the Gretz taste, but she's delicious.
Oh, this is delicious. Okay. So
Lorraine.
We'll find out more about Lorraine too, but Lorraine got swooped up. I think she was really just the example of don't say black people can't get swept up in cults, because they can. She's also British.
So their main thing is they capitalize off loneliness.
Yes.
So forgot these 2 people, Jeff and Shalia. Or Shalia, right? Because I kept calling her Shillelagh, but Shalia.
That works.
Megan, because that's the fuck her name.
Wait, because
Megan Plate.
I just want you to know that in the Amazon documentary, we met Megan's father, and we met Jeff's childhood best friend from 8th grade all the way through high school. And 2 ex-girlfriends.
Yikes. So, of course they use the internet to dupe all these people, right? Like they go in and they advertise things that they can do and help you become this twin flame or find your twin flame and all this good stuff, right? So they were offering classes for $222 a month.
Yep. The cheapest class is $111 a week.
Right. A week. Now.
A month.
Yeah, it's a month. But they had 38,000 people taking these classes. What's the math on that?
Okay, let's see.
I don't have my.
So if we do, how many?
Let's do 222 because that's what I remember. That's what the coupon said in the show.
Times 36,000 people.
38,000 people.
That is $8,436,000. And they don't have overhead. because we found out in the Amazon documentary that everybody works for them for free.
Mm-hmm. In exchange for classes and ascension and stuff, which we have heard before. Sea Org.
Yeah.
So all these people were promised that at the end of these courses or whatever the fuck they do, they will be in harmonious union, meaning they will have found somebody to be with, and they are in happy, we about to, meet me at the altar, your white dress. Now, if you notice, they're all it's all typically marketed towards women.
Yes.
White women.
Mm-hmm.
Like Facebook support groups for like, we just broke up. What do I do?
It's mostly people who just got out of relationships or have suffered some sort of trauma is who they preyed on. And the reason I think it's mostly white women who this not only appealed to, but were like the primary candidates for this is because even though love is marketed to everybody, white women are conditioned even a little differently than we are. I learned that when they were talking about how the mothers be telling their daughters to go to college and find them a husband.
Mm-hmm.
So they're conditioned differently to look. They like that. They seek that partnership for these validation ways.
They seek the I'm done notion, right? Like this idea of I've got a man, they could take care of everything for me. I've done all the work. And it's a very like whimsical fantasy type of situation. I found my prince. I'm being treated like a queen and a king and whatever Walt Disney pushed down people's throats.
Exactly.
Passenger princess, a sunset, good sex, best I ever had, I gotta confess. Passenger princess, come and be my passenger princess. Passenger princess, come and be my passenger princess.
All right. So they were taught that in order to be successful, there is one tool that you need. And I'll tell you what that is when we come back from a break.
Hit it, Cloud.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, y'all. Are you a millennial who misses what life was like in the 2000s? Have you had a hard time finding new or curated music? Are you interested in multiple perspectives on relationships, dating, and music? Then you're going to love See the Thing Is, podcast hosted by Grammy Award-winning R&B artist Bridget Kelly and media personality and podcast trailblazer Mandy B. Twice a week, Bridget and Mandy have nostalgic conversations in their grown segments, political pop culture conversations in their honest segments, and relationship hot take conversations in the slightly toxic segment. The opinions on the show are real and are brought to you by the genuine connections the ladies have with the guests they like to call their friends with benefits. Each week, you'll leave with some new music recommendations or a curated playlist that you didn't even know you needed in their freshly squeezed music segment. Most recently, the ladies have sat down with Big Frida, Remy Ma, Chloe Bailey, Money Long, and much, much more. Follow and subscribe to See the Thing Is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or on YouTube. New audio episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday, and visuals are available on YouTube Wednesday and Saturday. And we're back talking about, twin fire cyclones. Both the Amazon and Netflix doc. So they were talking about the main tool that you need to be successful in order to find your twin flame, your soulmate, your person, right?
Yeah.
And it's called the mirror exercise. And when if you've watched Going Clear, like I said, Going Clear is your main, that's one of the pillars of Jada NXT.
Absolutely.
It's like, it's patron saint Bokeem Woodbine, Luther Vandross, and Going Clear. Sylvester in there too.
Yeah.
And so they talk about this mirror exercise, which looks exactly like auditing. And this exercise is you write down what exactly is upsetting you. Like, I don't know.
What is bothering you?
Like, Jade hates Klondike bars, right?
Yeah.
And that upsets me, right? Now, the number 2 thing that you do after that is you switch the nouns to point it at yourself.
Or the pronouns, yes.
I hate me because I hate Klondike bars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 3. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, where's that in my notes? Number 3. Give yourself the love that you need.
Yes. Yes. Which all of is extremely emotionally manipulative.
Yes.
Because you're taking on everybody else's problems that are not your own.
Yeah. And the problems that are actually yours, you can't hone in on those because everything that's a problem for you is your problem.
Yes. Yes.
Which is kind of the opposite of what white people are generally taught, but
yeah, which pissed me off the most because this is the most reductive cult ever.
But like, why we backslide? Why we backslide?
Yeah, girl, the whole point.
What's the point of being white?
Even Mother God didn't do that.
Did it? She's like, what? Fuck it, let's party. I'm God.
Woo! Mama thought she was Ric Flair.
What did
these people up here doing Excel?
What did that plaque say when you walked in the house? God is a woman and she is the best.
Father chose love over meth.
Father chose love over meth.
These white people are certifiable and provide endless content, right? Man. So, oh my goodness. She, anywho, so we go back to Stephanie. Of course, like in all documentaries, the subject of they're all awesome human beings. They all have goals and dreams and ambitions before a man snatches it away.
Yes.
And so, you know, she was one of those people. She had goals and shit, you know. And so she was even in the Peace Corps, you know. She was doing sit-ins and thinking she was doing good for humanity and all that stuff. That's what they tell themselves in Peace Corps. So she met a man. So
I asked somebody, I didn't tell you that. When I went to the Palestinian fundraising dinner, I was sitting, it was a communal table. So, you know, whoever bought tickets to the dinner. So I'm talking and somebody told me that their mother joined the Peace Corps. And I said, can I ask you a question?
Hold on. Was that an earthquake?
What the fuck?
I felt my building shake.
Ooh, check Citizen.
Okay, I'll find out in a second. Go ahead. That was weird.
Maybe it was English bulldog.
They're also doing construction out here, but they've been banging all day, and I haven't really felt it. But this I felt, and I'm like,
double check that. Double check that.
I'll check in it. This is the last time this happened. We had an earthquake, and it happened. It was a real earthquake. But anywho,
what was I saying to you?
Peace Corps.
Oh yeah. So I asked them. They were like, "Oh yeah, my mom." My mom joined. I said, "Can I ask you an honest question?" They were like, "Yeah." I said, "The Peace Corps, it's a cult, right?" And they were like, "Yeah, I think so." Like, it might as well be. I was like, "Yeah."
That's how I feel about the Red Cross. But we'll talk about that one day later.
The Red Cross is an evil entity of individuals because they're like a fuck nigga who paints himself as a good one. The worst
just
kind.
Like Salvation Army.
Oh, they're also what? All of them. Bring them down. Bring them down.
So, and one day we could break all this down, but not today. We have other white tasks to discuss.
Yeah.
Right? So, Stephanie, you know, Paula's twin, Louise's daughter. You know, she met a man in Taiwan. She was soups into him. Like, you know, she thought he was her cinnamon apple. And he was like, you cool and all, like, hey, but I'm really not that into you and stuff. So he turned her down. And so she Googled her feelings about him.
Yeah.
And she realized that oh, he is my twin flame. You know, this idea of like, this is my person, my only one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was weird because Stephanie was starting these courses or whatever, and she had began to isolate herself from her family. But when she would come around, she would stay with Paula, her sister. And she would be up all in the hours of the night doing these coaching calls with Jeff and Shillelagh, or whatever the fuck her name is. She looked like the judge from So You Think You Could Dance. I forget her name. Her face looks like a fart.
Oh my God. It looked like it was just a moon cookie. Like
yeah, a fart. So we meet Zillennial Sarah Koenig, Sarah Berman. She's a journalist. And as soon as she came on the screen, my first thought was, oh, this bitch work at Vice, don't she? And so
so hold on, pause before because she is in the article she wrote.
So it showed up on Vice, yes.
So Alice Hines, the journalist from the Amazon documentary, based her article on the Vice article. So they talk about the Vice article coming out, and it was like the first expose of them as a group. It's like they're in a cult, and they got commentary from former members and so forth and so on. So that comes out, and Jeff and Shillelagh are pissed, right? They are like spawning nukes, calling everybody liars. And what they generally do is block and excommunicate people who talk shit about them, right? Because most of their shit is social media based. Well, how Alice got in because she was scared when the Vice article came out. She was like, oh, now it's exposed. Like, if I start going and questioning them, they're not going to answer any of my questions because this Vice article was so visceral. So she approaches them in a real like, hey, I feel like this article just didn't tell the whole story. I feel like you guys didn't get to really tell your side of the story without getting attacked. So, I just would like to offer more context. And that's how she got invited to their home. You can continue, and then I'll come back to that.
I need to watch this Amazon. Okay. So, that goes on to talk more about Jeff and Shalia, right? Megan. Jeff wanted to be rich. He was this white boy who had rich parents, and he just wanted to be rich and a billionaire. And so he changed his name to Ender. Ian Theos.
So I'm going to give you a little more context. I'm going to jump in here. I told you we meet Eric Rogers, which is Jeff's bestie from growing up. They met in the 8th grade, were inseparable ever since. To show all these past pictures of them snowboarding, doing all the things, right? So we also met Ellen, which is one of Jeff's former girlfriends, and then we meet another former girlfriend later on. They met in the drama club. Okay, exactly.
There you go.
So he loved love. They said being in a relationship with him was like being in a John Hughes movie. Like, he wanted that 16 candles. He wanted all that shit. So Eric said that Jeff always had a driving force to be successful. He never had any foundation under it. So it was always like, okay, you want to be rich, you want to be famous, you want to do all these things. Like, how do you want to do them? I don't know, but I'm going to do them. And that's when he up and moved to Hawaii and started Ender's Adventures, which was his blog, and then changed his name multiple times, actually. So first he told his friend, I'm going to be a life and career coach. But at this point, he's 25 years old. And Eric is like, how the fuck are you going to be anybody's life coach at 25 years old? I don't know, but I'm going to do it.
If today were the last day of your life, would you be proud of who you are and what you've accomplished? For 99% of us, that answer is no. You see, as kids, we grow up with dreams to change the world. But as we get older...
So he changed his name to Jeffrey Ionithos. Then he changed it to Ender Ionithos. Then he changed it to Shafira Ionithos. And then he changed it back to Jeff... what was their last? Ionithos. So he changed it.
Or Ian, Jeff Ian.
Ian, right? So it was all of those, and then it went back to Jeff Ian. And then his friend was like, oh, he's turning into Greek Jesus. Now, we meet his another ex-girlfriend later on, and she also tells us, she was like, this nigga knew this was a scam. He knew all of this was a scam. He always wanted to be a billionaire. He always said he was going to be a billionaire, and he didn't have any ethics behind what he did. I'm going to come back to how completely unethical this nigga is, but you may continue.
Yeah, that comes soon. So he one day just makes light of starting a cult, like you had mentioned, to his friend, and all of a sudden he makes all these changes to rebrand himself as a lifestyle guru. In about 2013, him and Shalia met. Mm-hmm. Her name is Megan, and she changed her name because Shalia sounds more spiritual.
Yes.
And Megan is just Megan.
Yeah.
So she's typically the brains, LOL, behind the spiritual portion of this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So they moved to Michigan, and on the back end, he has a bunch of websites, and he is promising healing to people. And to make a long story short, he says he can cure cancer.
Okay, pause. So, before they moved to Michigan, because that's where I realized the Netflix jumped, right? Before they moved to Michigan, remember they were living in Hawaii. So they met online, and then Shalia flew to Hawaii to be with him. Mm-hmm. They then figured out very quickly that they were young and poor and could not afford to stay in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. One of my best friend's aunt works for the fucking IRS. Where did they station her? Hawaii. She's like 60 years old and she has a roommate. That's how expensive Hawaii is. So they realized, oh, we can't do Hawaii. Why does Hawaii keep coming up for these cult people? So they then call...
Because it's paradise, but still on American soil.
You're right, yeah. They then call Jeff's family, and so at this point they're living together, but they can't afford it. So they go live with his family, but they're on the very brinks of what's going to become Twin Flame Universe. So as they're like getting into this coaching shit while they're living with his family, the family's like, I can't fuck with what you're doing. Like, y'all got to get out of here. So then they move in with that childhood best friend, Eric Rogers. And Eric Rogers is like, he was like, this shit was weird, punctuated by weird. He was like, shit got wild up in here. They started with these, he's like, they're doing these classes with people, they're starting this shit. He goes, but it became a big problem for me when he was telling people that he goes, he comes to him one day and he said, I know what my next money move is. And he said, what is it? And he was like, well, you know, I have this gift of healing now. So I'm going to heal people's ailments. He's like, you know how your physical ailments are actually a reflection of your spirituality and your this and your that. So I'm going to heal people's ailments. And the friend Eric is like, yeah, you can't do that, nigga. Like, that's not a good idea.
That's not how it works.
He starts the website. That's one of the websites you just brought up. He starts the website. He's healing headaches for $30. He's healing cancer. He had one session with somebody, comes back to me because I healed somebody's multiple sclerosis last night. Then on a Facebook group, another high school friend of theirs calls him out on the Facebook on the Facebook comments and says, Jeff, you know, my mother died in high school from cancer. And I think it's really irresponsible and manipulative for you to be telling people that you can cure cancer when you know that's not true. This nigga responds on the thread and says, I apologize that I did not have my gifts in high school and that I didn't have the ability to cure your mother's cancer then. That's when Eric goes, they've got to get out of my house. They've got to go. And he kicked him out. On top of that, he said they ate hot dogs for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. And he has not touched a hot dog since 2015.
My baby works in a hot dog stand, making them hot dogs as fast as she can. Up steps a cat, now don't move me slow. Get me 2 hot dogs ready to go. Hot dog! She's my baby, hot dog! Drives me crazy.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
What we learn about them later.
Exactly.
So I know this episode is already long, so I'm going to try to push through, right? So we're back to Keely, and Keely puts her sister Marley on. And they both had troubled childhoods, bad mama, whatever. Keely does the mirror exercise, and you know she has an epiphany, and she realized that Colby was her twin flame, and 9 months after they broke up, she reached out to him, and she apologized, and she confirmed that they were twin flames, and he was like, "Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about?" So she sent him a link to all this mumbo jumbo that they're shelling to people, and he drank the Kool-Aid and was in it.
Yeah.
Right after he was in it, they moved in together.
Yeah.
Right. So she moved from Massachusetts to Oregon, which is important. And they're supposed to share this. And every time they have successes in their relationship, they have to share it in a positive way on their Facebook group. And they always have to attribute it to the success of Jeff and Shalea's teachings.
Yes.
And they were being put and marketed as the couple, just like the Duggars were.
Yes.
They were marketed as the couple, and they were like, how they got a house and they got housewarming gifts. However, Jeff and Shalea was like, oh, you're getting donations for money? Well, here's what you're going to do with this money. Down to the type of washcloths they got with it. They were told that they had reached harmonious union, meaning that these people in Jeff and Shalea's eyes were meant to be together. They have achieved this level rung on the ladder that they are the pinnacle, be all, whatever. They're almost like them.
Yep.
Right. So they started an MLM.
Yep.
They started this coaching scenario. And so they made Keely and Colby as coaches, put them on as coaches, making $60 a session. And they were told to implement the mirror exercise a lot. What does that sound like, friends? Auditing.
So I'm going to jump in.
Yeah. Tag team.
There's a couple here named Katrina and Ann with an E. You must tune into our Anne of Green Gables live watch with us to understand Anne with an E. But Katrina and Ann with an E. So Katrina and Ann with an E met in college. There was a spark. Woo! They bitches was in love. Howsoever, neither one of them had come out. And every time one of them made an attempt to come out, they got fearful and didn't do it. They never fully professed their love to one another, but it was very clear that there were very strong feelings between the two of them. They ended up going on to continue life in heterosexual relationships. Both of them got married. Both of them had kids. And when Katrina was pregnant with her second kid, Ann called, and they stayed in contact. When Katrina was pregnant with her second kid, Ann called and was like, "Bitch, I love you. I've been love you. I've always been in love with you. And I want to be with you. And I don't give a fuck what we got to do. Like, I love you." So both of them left their niggas and were out of their homes by April and moved in with each other by August. Between the two of them, they had 5 kids. And they were in love and no jobs. So then... Oh, yeah. No. So they obviously were looking for support because they blew their lives up. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, the current lives they had, they completely demolished those so that they could build a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And
very Grace and Frankie of the situation.
Yes, very much so. And what did they need in this very challenging transition? Support. So they find the Twin Flame community. They have a meditation with Jeff and Shalia, and they pronounce them in harmonious union. So with that being said, and them having this like whirlwind love story, and the ladies are feeling good because, you know, they have support. They have like genuine support that's coming from somewhere. So with all of that, Jeff and Shalia put them in charge of a coaching program, another MLM. And they were another stream of revenue for them because they were a possibility model of a couple. Continue.
Let's take a break.
Yes.
And we'll be back with more Jaden XD and Twin Flames. Hit it, Quad.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
These women approached me in the student union and deceptively recruited me into a front group of this turned out to be a cult. And within 2 weeks, I was believing that World War III was about to happen, that Armageddon was coming.
And we're back.
We should have started the episode with Through the Fire. Anyway, continue.
I know. So we're back and talking about Twin Flame. So we meet Sarah. Sarah was Stephanie's charge. Like Stephanie's was her coach, and they became friends kind of sort of through that.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah was organized the tweet up.
Yeah.
Right? She was like, I want to meet all these other members, all these other sad women in the group in the tri-state area. And so let's link up. So Jeff got wind of that and took over everything and bulldozed it and made it the official tweet up of, you know, their first in-person meetup, right?
Yep.
In 2018, December 30th.
Mm-hmm.
They were all just, you know, I'm going to be honest. You know how I have that adage, how I think that all foreign exchange fans look alike?
Yes. You haven't said that in a while.
Yeah, and it still rings true.
It does.
And I looked at every one of these white faces and I was like, you know what? I can't tell y'all apart either. So, you know, they're talking about like they made sure that Keely and Colby were there, even though these niggas were beefing.
Yep, they did not like each other.
They didn't like each other, but they were like, you need to be there because you're the face. You're the face of the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, this is when Jeff and Shillelagh start implementing this idea of a soul family, meaning your only SOUL family, your only family. And meaning, and this sounds very familiar, it's like you're supposed to isolate and ice out the people that don't believe in this twin flame shit.
Yes.
So what do they call that in Scientology? There's a term for it. I forget it.
Sea org.
Yeah. They had a term for it, but yeah, it's basically icing out and isolating yourself from your family and shit like that because they know they're gonna pull you out. Go ahead.
I forgot to tell you earlier that when they were highlighting the mirror exercises. So obviously, while we know that they did not create the mirror exercise, it was the primary tool that they used for their teachings. And they used the mirror exercise on. So there was a man from Germany, Fabian, who, you know, started sessions with them. And Fabian was in distress because Fabian said, my cats hate me. And so Jeff and Shalia had Fabian do the mirror exercise with his cats and figure out why he got bad vibes.
Me and Ramses are very good friends. Very good friends. Very good friends. Me and Ramses are very good friends, and he doesn't like my singing.
And his cats don't fuck with him. And they show the video of him on the Zoom, and you hear them niggas in the back like But this is important for what's getting ready to come up soon. Because yes, they implement this idea of this soul family in the Netflix doc. But then Jeff and Shalia, so we talked about their MLM, they needed more streams of revenue. And their revenue, because the thing is, when you started coaching, just wait. When you started coaching, all your money belonged to you. That's the gotcha, right? Like all the money you charge for your coaching is 100% yours. But when people join and start coaching, they also, and when they're teaching coaching, Jeff and Shalia have a series of videos for them to purchase up to like $2,200 for the package. And I think that might be minimum. So then all of the proceeds that they purchase from those videos goes to Jeff and Shalia. So they needed more streams of revenue. So, and they realized people were starting to get hip. They're like, it's a bunch of bitches in this group, and a soul family could only go but so far. Like, we were promised the concept of meeting niggas up in this bitch. Like, you said when we started this and we started paying for this that you could guarantee that God has my twin flame out there and that God's gonna set me up with my Russell Wilson. So when that wasn't happening for like 80% of the group, they had to scam with the soul family. And then they started matchmaking within the group. So we meet this young lady from the Netherlands named Marie. Marie's dad is Dutch. Her mom was Moroccan. And she moved to Amsterdam to go to school. And she thought she was in a relationship with a man who had a girlfriend of 14 years. We hear a conversation between herself and Jeff and Shalia where she goes, he made his girlfriend pregnant again. And I don't understand why he keeps doing this. And they were like, well, that's because him and his girlfriend are bored. And tell him it's time for you all to finally take this next step and have your third child together. But during the matchmaking process, they were like, oh, that nigga's not your twin flame anyway. It's Fabian. And Fabian flies from Germany and shows up to Marie's door. And they are told that they have to be in a relationship together because they are each other's twin flames. And they show Fabian and Marie together at various times. And she is miserable and disgusted.
Just like Marley.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna breeze through these two people, please. Marley and Ellie, but they're very important to the story of what happens next. So everybody else, I'm trying to blur through it. Everybody else comes later, right? Keely and Colby weren't getting along at all. They were taught that sex was a healing tool, and Jeff intimated and made it very clear that men in a relationship had ownership over women's bodies. Mm-hmm. So, long story short, there was a lot of sexual assault involved and unreported sexual assault.
Yeah.
And with all that, her sister Marley, who we did not know was 19, she met, while at the conference at the Tweet Up, she was like, she ain't met nobody, right? And I thought it was weird because, girl, you were 19. Why are you worried about finding your fucking twin flame?
Hello.
Find twin lighters.
I was trying to find that twin dick, nigga. That's
right. Like, she should have went to Mother God. I would have supported that than this.
Right.
So Because this is all about love and finding a man. Oh, I'm so disgusted.
A cult behind finding a man. Chicken feet and soup.
Ew. Gross. Cooties. You know I hate when love is the prize. That is the worst. Worst.
This reality show sucks.
Yes, big time. So she was at the little tweet up, and they put everybody on the spot. First of all, I want to point out that they ran this whole entire operation via Zoom.
Yes, baby, because a good giant majority of it took place during the pandemic.
Yes. And Keely has the hard drive to everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we were able to see it. But back Joshua, she did not like this man, Marley did. They approached her at the conference like, who you dating? And Jeff channeled and some spirit and was like, this man who hit you up randomly on Facebook is your twin flame.
Mm-hmm.
So she got a random message on Facebook one day and he was sending her like random song lyrics and stuff, but it no face, whatever. She was like, what the fuck is this? And Jeff and Shalia was like, that's your twin flame. That's your twin flame. So she was encouraged to pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that he was like in his 30s and had a criminal record.
Mm-hmm.
And she was moving to Utah to be with him.
Yeah.
Colby and Keely got married in a small wedding, and they really didn't marry because they loved each other. They got married because they wanted to show and demonstrate that they could be successful at this.
Mm-hmm. We also learned in both of these documentaries that one of their primary, so obviously being in a cult is not an illegal thing.
No.
Technically, like as long as there's nobody being held against their will, so everybody is there willfully, so forth and so on, is not technically illegal. It's generally the acts that are happening within. And with this with the twin flame universe, one of the things that they encouraged that was quite felonious was stalking.
Yeah.
So, as I just mentioned with Marie, she in her mind, she was in a relationship with a man, or her twin flame was a man who was in a 14-year relationship and 2 kids in. And they were encouraged to show up to people's homes, knock their doors in. And this is a direct quote. Drag them out of the house, start putting their stuff in trash bags, and take it and put it in your house.
She was filming a TikTok video when the unthinkable happened.
A terrifying moment as a young woman makes a new TikTok video. She's dancing in her living room. Suddenly, a man has burst into the apartment through a second-floor balcony door.
Who are you? Please get off.
Yeah, they were taught you can't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Like, so if they in a relationship, you destroy their relationship because they're supposed to be with you. If they got kids, fuck them kids. They're supposed to be with you.
They're supposed to be with you.
All that jazz, right?
Mhm.
Like, which caused a lot of restraining orders from women in the group.
Yeah.
Namely, like this girl named Elle. She was like, her original nigga left her like did her dirty, left her during a car accident or whatever. But she joined the twin flame, and Jeff and Shalia told her that this nigga who abused her and left her at the car accident was actually her twin flame.
Yeah.
And she was like, that's weird. Like, he and I don't even fuck with each other, but whatever.
What? So you know how we met? What's her name? Arcelia. We find out more about Arcelia's twin flame in the Amazon documentary. So
because we don't learn anything about her twin flame.
No, she just kind of speaks on the full experience of being in it. But Arcelia in the Amazon documentary tells us that she works at a convenience store, and one of the customers that comes in, they always lock eyes, had a strong connection. That was her twin flame. Now, the problem with him was that he was a very country cowboy, AKA right-wing, presenting, America used to be a proper country type of man, right? And I think they had a little bit of interaction, but not really that much. But Jeff and Shalia told her that that man was her twin flame. And so she was encouraged to pursue this very country, redneck, white man who did express attraction to her. But also was very committed to this lifestyle that he was using as his cover to who he actually was. And they encouraged her to continue messaging him, to all of that, those steps she was talking about, how she was deep in it, it was behind that nigga. And that's dangerous because...
So dangerous for so many reasons other than what we got going on.
You in the middle of America, you work at a convenience store. This is a woman of trans experience, and you're telling her to pursue and stalk a person who is committed to a cowboy, middle America presenting exterior. That's what you are putting her in harm's way. It's dangerous. Continue.
My girl could have died. So you know, Elle gets put in jail behind all this because it's essentially stalking.
Lorraine got blocked on Facebook.
Yeah. However, Jeff makes it out to be all her fault. They had a public Skype or whatever the fuck, and he tried to make sure to do that mirror exercising so that he would absolve himself from any responsibility just in case shit gets sued, right?
Yep.
Whatever. She's publicly humiliated and she keeps on going. And she's referred to MAP, which needs to be shut down by the government today. MAP is mind alignment process created by Dr. Christine something, and I use the term doctor loosely. She was in the military, and so people kind of assumed that she was a military doctor and she knew what the fuck she was doing. When in reality, she was hypnotizing people and making suggestions in people's minds that they had traumatic experiences when they did not have them, and in turn would make them do their mirroring thing, and that shit would come out, and that would be their way of how to push the trajectory or whatever the shit that they teach them. Brainwashing like shit.
Oh, and there was a reason for that, because I'm trying to find it in my notes, but essentially Jeff has a degree, or said he went to school for oh, here it is. Okay.
I know he has an MBA.
He has in neuro-linguistic programming, which is a form of hypnosis.
Yeah, it is. They needed help. They were running low on money, and so they would advertise this MAP to everybody, and they would advertise it to groups on Facebook.
Yep.
Other sad groups on Facebook. Lonely women, lonely men, whatever the fuck. Lonely people.
Lonely teardrops.
They started their own meal prep service. Like Keely and Colby were going through it. And so they subscribed, like, y'all need to eat this holy diet or whatever to get on the straight and narrow. It was nothing but fucking Kraft mac and cheese, and everything was beige. All the childish things that they ate that you mentioned, nothing but hot dogs and Kraft mac and cheese and what Velveeta. That's what they had.
Chef
and remember,
Boyardee.
that's what's white people have weird diets, because remember, Mother God had the same thing.
Hello, that bitch loved a Velveeta sliced grilled cheese sandwich and shrimp cocktail. That's like a bitch from Florida.
Guy goes by Barfly777. He's on TikTok. You know about the guy's antics. How did you know? How did you find this guy? Now, the deal here is he made a garlic shrimp dish in the bathroom of an airplane, but you've seen him do another thing.
And with the gag thing, the gaggy part about this was people were paying to be coaches.
Yes.
They were taking their earnings to pay their little overhead thing and giving it to, what's their name? Shillelagh and Yef.
And not only that, they were doing all of this work, but they were doing it with no compensation. So they had this whole team of people running, to the point where they almost became a corporation the way that they were running, with not any overhead. They did not pay these people a single penny. And they were able to build all of their riches off of that. So we told you all that they started going into matchmaking within the organization because they realized that people were not finding love outside. Working. There was one clip where a girl was like, they were telling her that this person was her twin flame, and she was like, no, they're not. He's not. I'm not attracted to him. And they were like, yes, you are. That is. And he started to laugh at the girl in her face and call her weird. She's bawling, crying on the phone. And Jeff is laughing and calling her weird. And so was Shalia, because Shalia always sat in the background, but we're going to get to that in a minute because she actually was the mastermind behind a lot of this shit too. But Shalia would just laugh and chuckle while he would berate these people and talk to them crazy. And this nigga talked to people crazy. I'm talking fuck you. I'm talking we will bulldoze you. He told people to sexually harass people who they were stalking. Like, he was wild. So they start matchmaking within the organization to the point where one day they jump on one of them group Zooms and they're like, y'all, we got 7 new unions because they didn't want to lose members. So they made 7 unions within this. Plus they had their models, the one from the Netflix documentary and then also the ones from this documentary. And this is when it starts to get real crazy.
Let's take a break.
Hit it, Claude. After these messages, we'll be right back.
And yet, there is undeniably a large percentage of the spiritual community going through intense and profound experiences that they can only classify as being a twin flame connection. It is by far the most asked question I receive in my Instagram stories, and clearly a topic that many need guidance. My twin.
And we're black, talking about White Flame Universe. So I told you shit was about to get really wild and really harmful. So as Jeff and Shillelagh started to panic and say, we have to figure out how to keep these people within this group that we've created, because now we cash cowing, baby. Like, we moved to Detroit, we bought a whole house. And they had like a manor. Yes. They had a manor. They had multiple cars. They started off with a new Subaru. They got Porsche Cayenne. They had a Corvette. They had all kinds of cars. It was basketball courts and pools, and they had housekeepers. So remember that young lady I told you at the top of this episode, whose mother is a part of this, Brianna and her partner, who she was match made within the Twin Flame universe, moved into Jeff and Shalea's basement and was working for them, cooking and cleaning their homes. And there are other things that happened. So they were put together, right? Neither one of them were lesbians. Neither one of them were bisexual. Neither one of them were pansexual. But Jeff and Shaleaugh then started, so they had a very they believed that the feminine and the masculine are the only two identities, period, point blank. That is it. So much so that when they started to get that money, we're learning this from the journalist who went to their house. They ordered like 4 or 5 foot amethyst crystals, beautiful. And Shaleaugh would sit by the crystals every single day, and the crystals would talk to her and give her messages. But she was very specific in letting this journalist know, Alice, that one crystal was masculine and one crystal was feminine. So Jeff and Shaleaugh then started.
That explains the divine masculine and feminine. Okay.
So Jeff and Shaleaugh then said, we're going to start conversion therapy, but in a different direction through this group. And they started telling people. So now remember that lesbian couple from the top of this, Katrina and Ann with an E. They show videos, those group videos where they're all together, where Jeff is telling Ann with an E that her new name is Dan. And she's giving pushback. Well, I don't really like that name. And I've never really identified, like, Anne is a butch lesbian, but Anne is also, I wouldn't even call her a butch lesbian. Anne's kind of androgynous, right? But Anne also is like, but I'm a woman. My pronouns are she, her. Like, I've never been uncertain that I was a woman. And they are coercing her and trying to make her believe that she is a man. And her new name is Dan. And that's what she needs to be called. And when she's
also she's in the Netflix doc.
Yes. Okay. Continue.
Yeah, she's Dan. Because there is a... backtrack a little bit because they changed the rules of the org when money started going out the window. Also, Sarah posted the article like we talked about earlier, and Jeff sued Louise. And she was out $30K after fighting it, even though it was dismissed. And he sued her for $1 million. What a fucking loser. Anywho, they changed the rules so that all the partners whoever you were dating needed to be in this shit or whatever. So here comes Shanice, the black girl. I'm a black girl. I'm not going to find a black spouse to join a white cult with me. So this is where you talk about the divine feminine or whatever. And they don't believe in bisexuality.
No. Even though they claim to advocate for the LGBTQIA plus community.
Yeah, because that's when we meet Drea, which, why did they have a video game? And more importantly, where is it? And what is this video game? Because Drea was billed as TFU video game designer. What? Well, you look that up. I'll keep going.
Yeah.
So this is when, again, they're playing with gender, right? Because they don't believe in bisexuality. They believe in a binary, divine, masculine, and feminine. So they're telling Drea to go after this asexual girl who is not interested in that and harassing this lady. And then it got to the point where they were subscribing genders to people.
Yep.
And this is where you talk about Dan. And Stephanie's twin flame.
Yes.
Now, in the meantime, Louise tries to do a pop-up on the pop-up because she heard that they're all going to be in Sardona, Arizona, but Stephanie doesn't show up because she kind of figured her mama was going to pop up. But Stephanie's twin flame was actually this person named Kieran. Now, remember, Stephanie was told that her twin flame was that nigga from Taiwan, but Jeff channeled and got a different, message and was like, hey, this person is Kieran. This is who you're supposed to be with. And Kieran is trans.
By assignment.
By assignment.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out the words to say. They told people, to wrap a lot of this up, they told a lot of people you're trans and encouraged people to transition because these folks were so entrenched in this idea that that this was their person because they hung on every word that Shillelagh and Jeff said.
So Brianna, who was one of those people that hung on to every word because she slipped deeper and deeper She kept communication with her family. She was living in the house with her family, but she would talk their ear off to death about the Twin Flame universe to the point where they were like, this bitch is crazy. And she was slipping into this weird depression and staying in her room and so forth and so on. Brianna was then paired and match made within the Twin Flame universe and then came to her mother and said, Mom, I am in a relationship with a woman. And her mother said, well, are you a lesbian? And she said, no. And she was like, okay. So she said, I'm going to move across country to be with this person. And her mom was like, well, you might want to just take some time and maybe not rush to do so. But she did it anyway. So then she calls her mom out of the blue one day and says, Ma, do you understand my relationship, essentially? And her mother was like, or do you support my relationship? And her mother was like, I always support you, but I will be honest with you and let you know that I don't fully understand it. And I do think that you moved very quickly, but I would like to understand it. So can we have communication where you help me to understand this relationship?
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I would like to understand it. So maybe you can help me with that. Brianna answers, that's not good enough. I'm going to have to stop talking to you. That's when she and the partner then move in with Jeff and Shalia. Now, Brianna's partner is a person who was also assigned the male gender. To the point that when they moved in with Jeff and Shalia, Brianna told her mother, I'm keeping up with your stereotypical feminine gender roles, traditional gender roles, such as cooking and cleaning and so forth and so on. And my partner is learning how to be a man. And they had her partner learning how to chop wood and all these, I'm dead ass, and all these other different activities to teach them how to be masculine.
Show you how to be the man, how to be the boss, how to come through with 7 coats to the gloss. Show you how to be the man. Show you how to be the man. Show you how to be the man, how to be the boss, how to buy the car, how to buy the house. Show you how.
And at this time, Katrina's cutting Ann with an E's hair and all of that, but Ann with an E can't get with it. Ann with an E is like, I can't fuck with this. Like, I'm not a man. So when she spoke up and like put her foot down and was not giving in, because Jeff kept pressuring her to identify as a man, and when she wouldn't do it and wouldn't give in, he blocked them both, which then did what? Cut off all of their income because they had given everything. Remember, they went into this with no jobs, and they were some of his very first coaches. So they lost all of their income and everything else, and they had 5 kids between the two of them. All because they didn't want to perform male gender.
Yeah, that happened to Elle too. They fired her, doxed her, all that good stuff.
Yep.
The head of security, she was, and the head of senior customer sales, Angie, they put them together. Angie was cis woman but bisexual, but Victoria was very much, I'm not with that gay shit. So she's definitely not my twin flame. They iced her out too. So like, and mind you, Angie was super deep entrenched. She changed her name to Azen and did the whole hair thing. And it's like they are just fucking with people's psyches in regards to their gender expression identity.
Jeff said to Ann, and I quote, "You're playing an avoidance game and it's preventing you from moving forward. Let the name be."
Yes, he also referred to himself as God.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So just when you thought that it couldn't get any wilder, Jeff and Shillelagh decided to have a baby.
Oh, child, I forgot about that.
But they could not conceive naturally. So they did it the Gilead way. They got an asexual woman and essentially did what they do in Handmaid's Tale. If you don't know what that is, you can go look it up.
Yeah.
However,
it's called a ceremony.
Spun a ceremony. The person who was their surrogate ended up having an ectopic pregnancy. However, they spun it in a way that, our little Goomba, decided to stay in the universe, stayed in the metaverse. Not giving honor, light, support to the person who was carrying your fucking embryo. Right? So then they started subscribing children to people.
Yep.
You should have children.
Yep.
Children are the divine right, which we've all heard before. And however, Jeff was the only person that made the decision on who could procreate and who could not. And if a couple was not able to do so based if they were trans or whatever the fuck, he would make it the point of connection to be like, okay, well, you do this and you do that and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, Shillelagh is just eating her face away.
Yeah.
And not being fat phobic, because Jeff makes a really big comment about this later on. So,
Woo.
We're back to money, right?
Ooh.
They have to earn a minimum of $10K, the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And Keely was starting to defect.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't like this nigga that I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
This is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making any money. I'm working for you all, not making money for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cult.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff got wind of this because she spoke her mind and was like, you need to watch The Vow,
Mm-hmm.
which we have all watched together.
Yes, we have.
We have covered. If you haven't, go look up. We have an episode with Dustin Ross, and it's about NXIVM.
Mm-hmm.
And we cover those things. And so she was told to go watch these HBO docs,
Mm-hmm.
and then write an essay, a compare and contrast essay on why Yef is not
a cult leader,
the nigga of a cult leader.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Which proved every way imaginable that this nigga is a cult leader.
Absolutely.
Right? So Keely told Colby, it was like, listen, we've both been brainwashed and we would both be happier if we left each other and left
this shit here.
And Colby was like, all right, but we got to go get Marley, your sister, because you got her into this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really fuck with you like that, but I do feel guilty for getting her into this shit. So they ride out at dawn to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And they scoop up Marley in the middle of the night. And every one of them, once they got in the car, they are what the fucking in the car. Like, what the fuck? What about? Like, they are realizing things like Kylie.
Yep.
And realizing that they have been brainwashed to think that love is a prize.
That love is a prize. Chicken feet and soup.
Oh my gosh. So then they try to hook up Shanice with Angie. And that's... And Shanice was like, I ain't doing that gay shit.
I'm not gay.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, I love gay people, but I'm not gay. I'm not going to pretend I am.
What I will say is that I appreciated the parents of the trans people.
Yeah.
Rather, if they were as forced, and I can't say forced because there is a trans professor on there, and he was like, or they, I don't remember their pronouns, but they were like, you know, no one can be truly sure that this transness was organic. Maybe they were cis and they figured this out later. But they said, but what they said was like, none of the language surrounding this makes it seem like it's organic.
No.
At all.
That it is a decision, not even a decision, that it is who somebody is. They are being told who they are.
Right. So they started a church.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
They started a church because they needed more money and they needed a way to make taxes go away. So they made Keely the CEO, and really by name only, so that if any shit went down, it would be in her name and they'd be completely absolved.
Yep.
Keely saw through that and was like, nah. And then they upped the fees on the coaching. So they were taking 50% of the fees.
Yep. Because remember, initially they took nothing. They only took the video, what people pay for the videos, but they did. They started taking half of that.
Right. So the way the documentary ends, because we're at the end essentially of the Netflix one, and all they do is they show the coaches talking to their charges or whatever the fucking apologizing to each other because they realized that this was all some bullshit.
Yeah.
And
they feel guilty.
Everybody feels guilty. Everybody's confused about gender and sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to identify anybody, right? They're just kind of just going through the motions. And it still exists. It's still in it's still in practice. People still believe that love is a prize and that these pasty whites are gonna get them there.
So in this particular one, they end with Anne with an E and Katrina getting married. Wedding was performed by a black woman with locks. The lady who was writing, Alice, who was writing the Vanity Fair article, the article comes out and Jeff is pissed, sends a 7,000 word strongly worded email telling her that essentially she's not good enough to write that article and she was forced by her bosses. And then also, I told you Brianna went home to her family, but she declined to be a part of it. And her family says she is not well, but she is on the mend. And Shalia's father says he has to treat her as dead because of the things that she's doing to other people and how she's complicit in this bullshit. And he's like, and she ain't no victim. She know exactly what she's doing. And I can't fuck with her while she's in the middle of this shit. So she's dead to me. That's how I have to treat her.
That's real. Well, that brings us to the end of this.
Oh, you don't want to tell me who's on your galactic A team?
We have to save that. We're at like almost 2 hours.
Okay, well,
but I could do galactic A team. See, because I don't want to confuse this because galactic A.
No,
this
it's
is
true.
A way. I'm down with Mother God. This shit I am not.
I am not down with Mother God.
Well, I'm not down with her either. But
Actually,
I'm definitely not
Mother
down
God
with this
didn't do
shit.
nothing but tell niggas to drink and smoke all day and make sure that they,
she wasn't
take record of her coughs.
She wasn't as harmful to people, right? She just got them. She just got people on. She was harmful, but not in a way where you're fucking up people's psyche.
No, she just claimed to be ancient deities and Orisha. Yeah. She was spiritually harmful as fuck.
Yeah, but there's a difference between that and you running a camp.
She also had niggas giving her money, living in her house with no jobs, but she compensated them with weed and alcohol, but not meth, because father chose love over meth.
And that's where we end today. We will see you all next week. Tune into the Patreon where mess lives. And adios, muchachos, muchachas, and muchachin.
Ta-ta, niggas.
Yes, we're moving on.